Hey, it's Dennis the Laptop Trader here with you, and we are moving on swiftly with our Season 1 video series, and today's topic is going to be stop losses. So, what is a stop loss? Well, first and foremost, it is simply a pending order. So, for instance, if we were going to enter, say, short here, and we got filled, and then the price action decided to retrace, like, I don't know, somewhere here, you might have put a order into the market to say that should the price go against me by X amount, I will be automatically out of the position. So that's what a stop order is, or a stop loss. Okay. Now, what I really wanted to talk to you about is the different types of stop losses that we have. What is the best one? So let's jump into it. Okay, so we have quite a few different orders. Let me delete these ones, and we have the manual one. So for instance, just like now, we would manually input this like so. So for instance, that would be our entry, and this would be I don't know, you predetermine your level before you put the trade on somewhere here, yeah, or anywhere else, maybe here if you're very conservative. Okay, so that's a manual one. Now you can also have a fixed one. So for instance, maybe you've backtested, or you just simply prefer by your risk management rules to have a fixed one, so maybe say 100 pips. Okay, so regardless of where your entry is, your maximum stop loss is going to be 100 pips no matter what. So for instance, let's jump onto this chart. You know what, I'm going to get the tool out. So I've put down the titles of the ones that we've just done, and we have the first one, which is the manual or predetermined one. Yeah, so you've set out your levels. So this is a nice one to use. A fixed one. So for instance, if say you went long on the break of this candle somewhere here, your stop loss, what you would do with a fixed one is say, well, where's the 100 pips? It's somewhere around there. So is that 100 pips from here to here? Yeah, thereabouts. Okay, so you've got a fixed one. Now the third one is what's called a trailing one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put trailing here. And what a trailing stop does, it basically, so say you've entered short here, or you've got an order in to go short. Should the price action go in your favor, so if the price action was to go down to here, and you have a trailing stop loss of say 50 pips, now the difference, so we have to calculate 50 pips from here. Okay, first of all, so 50 pips would be somewhere there, 69s. Okay, so if we put 69s, now this is the concept. All right, so should now this is the concept. Okay, if price action goes in your favor, this stop loss will automatically move by a difference of 50 pips from where the current action is to your stop loss. Okay, so if we go 5 pips in profit, then the stop loss would move 5 pips down also. So that's called a trailing stop loss. Alright, now the last one. And by the way, if a price action simply goes against you, the stop loss will not move. So if you've gone 5 pips in your favor, you've moved your stop loss essentially 5 pips further down. However, as soon as the price action starts to go back into against you, your stop loss will not move. So if we moved this is 69, so if we move 5 pips down, this will be at 64. And if the price action was to go against us, the the stop loss will not move against the price action, okay? So it will stay at 64. So it's kind of a way of locking in your profits, alright? Now, the last one, I would like to actually show this on the Aussie chart. And it's what I like to do, and it's called what I call it is the manual trailing. Okay, so I kind of like the idea of having a predetermined levels, and I like the idea of trying to lock in profits when you are in what I call Profitville. And so let's have a look. So if we take this last week for example, so say you went long somewhere here, okay? So this will be the entry above this break somewhere, and my stop loss initially might have been somewhere here. Okay, so far so good. Now the question then becomes, if we have a very good entry and the price action goes in your favor, you don't want it to retrace all the way to your entry or even your initial stop loss. Okay, so the question here is, how do we put a stop loss that allows us to bank a few pips should the price action go against us? And this sort of stop loss is what I call like I said, manual trailing. So should the price action get somewhere here, I will move my stop loss to the just underneath the previous level, which you can see was confirmed. So if I just zoom in there, so you can see that the price action got up and tested a certain level, which was actually turned out to be previous resistance now acting as support. So I would put my stop loss here, and then all I'll simply do is move my stop loss as soon as we see a retracement and a confirmation of that. This is not a retracement, by the way. As soon as we see a decent enough retracement, you can move your stop loss up. So I don't know, maybe you take that one, maybe you move it here, maybe you might put it here. Okay, so slight and then a doji and slight retracement, maybe. So this is just an idea, guys. Okay, it's just an idea. So if you stayed on with this trade, maybe you've put your stop loss here now, and then it seems to be holding this level, so maybe you've put it up here. So you can see that from our entry we've just locked in 180 pips, which is not bad, and all you're giving yourself is a risk-free trade now, and you're letting the trade roll on. Okay, so I find that's a good way to pick up pips. Now the question then becomes, what is the best? Oh, let's put the title up here just before I forget. So manual trailing. Okay, alright, so the question becomes, which is best? What is the best of these? Is it a fixed one? Is it a manual trailing? So let's flick over to Paint and see which is gonna help us. So basically my idea is this: your trading style needs to be consistent with your psychology. So for instance, and also not just your psychology, but also your work-life balance. Okay, so if you're somebody that has not a lot of time on your hands because you're working all the time, scalping probably is not the best idea. Yeah, very short-term scalping. However, what I've done here is actually just mapped out quite simply for you to understand which of these stop losses might help you. Okay, so a wide one might be, somewhere like 100, 150, 200 pips, and a small one anything smaller than that. Okay, so if you have an extremely short-term time horizon for your trades, then obviously your take profits or your profit levels might be a bit smaller than somebody who was a bit long-term. So it wouldn't make too much sense to have a really wide stop loss and an extremely small take profit, although that can be quite profitable, but that's for another video. Okay, so extremely short term or scalping, and keeping your stop loss tight might be the way. Okay, And there's no right or wrong here, guys. This is just to make you really think about your own trading. So if you've got a long-term trading style, a wide stop loss, inherently you need one. And if you have a take profit of say 300 pips, well, and you want your trade to be going on for, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks, and you have a small stop loss of say 20-30 pips, well, it's going to get hit. Yeah, it's going to get hit quite often, and you're going to get frustrated. So this is all about matching your trading style to your to your psychology. So let's see from the psychological point of view. If you're really strict, you like to follow rules and methodical, then what do we think about the wide stop loss? Yeah, it really depends on what strategy you're using, okay? What about a small stop loss? Well, once again, the strictness can be applied to both short-term and long-term trading, so that can work. What about discretionary speculation? So by that I mean somebody who likes to, have a look at the market and decide by maybe analyzing price action that, I believe the market has done this, so my thought process has changed for this pair, so I'm going to move my stop loss or take profit to level X or Y. Okay, so a wide stop loss, yeah, why not? And a small stop loss, well, it can and it can't, because I believe discretionary or speculation trading requires you to give a little bit more leeway inherently, because you are speculating a bit more. So if your psychology is that you hate getting stopped out and you're speculating, then you might need to widen up your stop loss. Okay? Alright, so like I said, it's just all about your trading style. So hopefully this video has provoked you to think about your trading style and your type of psychology and whether those two match up. So if you like this video, click the subscribe button or watch the other videos.